Hey everyone, off the Mike Sports Network here. Honorary Browns thoughts here, like the honorary of Sami Zayn, doing an honorary Browns thoughts because we're talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but we're talking about Baker Mayfield. So by extension, this is a Browns topic, and I love Baker Mayfield. I love his passion. I love his drive. I love his moxie. I love the way he carries himself. But what you saw with the game against the Washington Commanders in the playoffs. Commanders win 23-20 on a last-second kick by former Brown Zane Gonzalez. Baker Mayfield, the Browns, and I've said this for weeks and months, everybody with the Deshaun Watson thing playing out the way that it did, everybody is piling on the Browns about the decisions they have made at quarterback in the last few seasons. At the top of the list is letting go of Baker Mayfield. Yes, Baker Mayfield had his best season of his career. 40 I think it was 40 touchdowns, 4,000 yards. He did have a bunch of interceptions, but he leads this team to a second consecutive division title and gets them to the playoffs, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is great because you're following Tom Brady. And there's a standard of excellence with him, with Tom Brady winning a Super Bowl his first year there. So I love Baker Mayfield. But what you saw in this game, in this playoff game, is why the Browns moved off of him. Because in the biggest moments, this guy has found a way to come up short. You can't have a bad snap count situation that cost you effectively 4 points, and they had to kick a field goal to tie the game, and they never got the ball back. You can't fumble the ball in your own end after a huge goal line stop. Granted, the play call was bad, but the execution was off, and in the end, that comes down to the quarterback. Like, you just can't do that. And those two big mistakes in this game are the margin between defeat and victory. And as fun as Baker Mayfield is, and as entertaining as he is, I've said this before, and I'll say this again. Listen, they were right to move off of him, the Cleveland Browns. They just chose the wrong guy. They were backed into a corner where they were going to be in a position to have to pay him, and they needed more of an evaluation after the injured season of 2021. And they were like, no, we can't wait around. He's on his fifth-year option. We're going to have to pay him north of 35, 40, maybe close to $50 million a year. We don't want to do that. So they went shopping. They got desperate. They went out and got a hack of a quarterback in Deshaun Watson, which is a completely separate issue. But what you saw with the Bucs, this is his ceiling. This is his ceiling. Like, he is entertaining as hell. He can get a lot of yards. He does a lot of great stuff in the regular season. But we've seen it before. Yes, he's got a couple of playoff wins, but you have to win that game at home against a rookie quarterback on the other side. And yes, some of this is coaching with Todd Bowles. If you watch some of my other videos on this channel, Liam Cohen didn't have the greatest game. We'll see if maybe that changes something if they move to him as a head coach moving forward. But listen, like I get really tired of Browns fans, like, obsessing over great quarterback play when Baker Mayfield is really the standard, when he turned over the ball a lot and he made a lot of mistakes. And yeah, Deshaun Watson's been bad, but hell, they made it to the playoffs last year with Joe Flacco. What about that? They didn't bring him back, which is another separate issue. That, like I said, a lot of quarterback decisions being questioned. But I think we can finally put to bed that this whole, Brown should have never moved off of Baker. Guys, you saw it in the playoffs. You saw it in a game with an opportunity when Patrick Mahomes was not in the game a few years back, when the Browns were in a divisional round, down 5 points on the road with a chance to win the game, and Baker Mayfield couldn't get them down the field. This is who he is. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I like him. I hated that it had to end, but there's a reason that it had to end. Just because it's not working out for the Browns doesn't mean that they didn't make the right decision. They did, okay? We'll see if they can figure their way out of this whole thing to find a new option at quarterback. But let's end the discussion that the Baker Mayfield Browns thing, it wasn't working. They did the right thing. Good for him doing some things in Tampa Bay, but he's not winning a Super Bowl there. That's not happening. So stop holding on to that if you're a Browns fan. So Anyway, I'll talk to you guys soon. A lot more coming here on the channel this week. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.